Live from KSAT 12, the 6 o'clock news starts right now.
And tonight, we now know the names of two of the four people who were killed in that major crash on I-35 near Casson Road yesterday. The medical examiner's office has identified them as 69-year-old Rosalio Aguilera and 50-year-old Jose Guerra.
And that deadly crash started with a stolen car, and San Antonio police are still trying to find the people who they say caused that crash on the southwest side of town. Now, besides the four people killed, dozens more were injured as they headed south in a bus yesterday afternoon. Police say a stolen Camaro hit the bus from behind, sending it into the path of an 18-wheeler where it overturned.
Yeah, and they say everyone in the Camaro then got out and then ran away, including one person who was armed with an AK-47. So people who are living right near that site are wondering whether they're safe.
Frightening to know, but just always being safe. Luckily, I'm not here alone.
I hope they catch them.
Not only that, we have to stay alert, vigilant.
Yeah. A Fort Worth company called Transportes Guerra confirmed it owned the bus involved in that crash. In a Facebook post, it said the victims were heading to Mexico. As of this morning, 16 of the survivors are still hospitalized.
So now we move on to the next story, where we have a sad update to bring you from South Bexar County, where a little girl has died after she was found in a pool. 3-year-old Galilea Lares was swimming in the pool last night at a family get-together at a home just outside of Loop 1604 between 281 and 937. The Bexar County Sheriff's Office says that at some point she was found floating, wasn't responsive. First responders did try to perform CPR. They rushed her to the hospital, but sadly, that little girl could not be saved.
And families of children killed in the 2022 Uvalde school shooting were in a Los Angeles courtroom today. According to ABC in Los Angeles, they're suing Activision and Meta, saying the video game and social media giants helped influence the shooter. The lawsuit calls Activision's Call of Duty game a training ground for shooters. It also accuses the companies of targeting impressionable boys. The gunmaker Daniel Defense is also a defendant in the lawsuit. Meta and Activision deny responsibility and want the case dismissed.
The first letter she wrote, it says, "Hi from camp. Dear Mom, how are you? I'm good. Camp is amazing." And then the second letter, "Hi from camp. Dear Mommy, P.S. Don't give my Barbie dream house." And then she scribbled through it. I think she sent this letter that same day.
It's a heartbreaking reality. Many children are among those who lost their lives in the July 4th flooding in the Hill Country. And tonight we're hearing from a mother who lost her 8-year-old daughter. This is Lindsay McCrory, who shared some of the words her little girl wrote before the tragedy. McCrory says she gave Blakely a necklace before she went to camp. She says she was still wearing it when they found her, and that's how they were able to identify her.
We are reeling from the tragedy of the Independence Day flood in Kerr County. Many people are searching for those who could not be saved. There is no way to account for the anguish that we feel for the lives that have been lost, but we know that this must never happen again.
So you just heard right there from a group of conservationists calling for change in the wake of the Hill Country flooding tragedy. The latest number of people who are confirmed dead sits at 135 statewide, and a large amount of those people all come from the Hill Country.
Yeah, the Heart of Texas Conservancy, Green Spaces Alliance, Greater Edwards Aquifer Alliance, and the Cibolo Center for Conservation, they all met today in Comfort. Their message is loud and clear. They want state lawmakers to stop all development for homes and businesses along what's called the 100-year floodplain.
Yeah, it's an area that's known for being a lot more vulnerable to flooding.
We can't stop flooding, but we can reduce the risk from flood events, and we must act before the next flood.
We hope that city, county, and especially state officials will work with us to pass legislation that emphasizes preventing the worst impacts of flooding.
So looking ahead, next Monday, state lawmakers will be back in Austin for a special session. The recent floods are going to be a huge part of the conversation there. Lawmakers will also look at flood warning and emergency response systems. Now, on July 23rd, the Joint Disaster Preparedness and Flooding Committee is going to meet in Austin, and then they're going to be meeting in Kerrville on July 31st.
Meanwhile, as we look towards the future to try to prevent a tragedy of this magnitude from ever happening again, many friends and family of the victims who lost their lives They're still mourning.
Yeah, understandable. Memorials have been popping up all over the Hill Country. Our Zaria Oates joins us now live from Kerrville, where crosses now stand to remember those who died. So, Zaria, have you...
Hey, guys. Yeah, we were actually talking to some of the people who have been out here all day. Lots of people, dozens just coming by to walk and look at a lot of these crosses that have been up here for days. Garrett Berger, KSAT reporter, told us last week that this was an installation that was beginning from an artist out of Dallas, and we spoke to him again today as he starts to finish up this installation. So I want to show you what it kind of looks like right now. He's got just under 100 crosses already up, and he says he wouldn't have been able to do this without the help of the community. There are crosses for the campers, there are crosses for families. Everyone who has lost their life is going to get a cross over here just off of the Guadalupe River near the Kerrville Ponding Lake. And we've been out here for a couple of hours today when we were actually able to speak to two women who were touched by this flood. They've lived out here for a few years, and one of them told me that they were actually by the Guadalupe River when the flood came in on the July 4th, and they were able to get to safety. All of their friends were able to get to safety, but unfortunately, many of their friends lost a lot of their belongings, and one of their friends is still looking for their family, which brings me to my next point. Over here to the left of these crosses, lots of people have been leaving messages, and if you want to come write a message, you're able to come write a message over here. This is on Guadalupe Street here in Kerrville. There will also be a vigil over in Bandera at Bandera City Park Pavilion tonight at 7:30 if you would like to remember the lives lost in this flood. Live in Kerrville, I'm Zaria Oates.
Some pretty incredible images right there, too.
So many lives that were lost, yeah.
Yeah, and the devastating floods in the Hill Country didn't just damage homes, they also destroyed families' precious keepsakes and memories.
Yeah, Erica Hernandez spoke with one Texas company that's helping to bring comfort to families who lost everything for free.
When floodwaters swept through the Texas Hill Country, countless families lost more than just property. But thanks to Cotton Holdings and their foundation's restoration station, hope is being restored.
We wanted to do something where we could really not only impact the community, but we could actually impact individuals.
The idea for the mobile restoration stations was born from a desire to provide more than basic disaster relief.
Any way we can possibly relieve some stress and some anxiety to people that, unfortunately paid a huge price.
You could truly see the power of water here in Hunt and how the Guadalupe moved through here, just tumbling over trees in its way. This is why the Cotton Holdings Company is trying to give some of these families who've lost everything some relief by restoring items that restore not only family history, but memories. When we met up with the restoration station, crews were carefully removing photos from albums, sanitizing and drying them out. The goal was to save as many of the photos as possible.
Even if it's not restorable, what we want to do is at least stop the decay of it, because you can't actually stop the process from getting worse.
So far, most of the work they've been doing is photo restoration.
These are memories. It's real emotional sometimes for not only our crews, but obviously our people that we're trying to help.
Leticia Carmona, one of the workers helping, has been doing this for more than 10 years. A native of Houston, she says this was bringing up a lot of emotion after already going through Hurricane Harvey before.
It's devastating seeing everything, emotionally, everything. It hurts. You could feel the intensity, the grief, everything.
The work may be long and tedious, but the payoff.
It's great to see people, the smiles after the disaster.
And the Cotton Foundation isn't stopping anytime soon.
Well, we're going to keep it going as long as if people need us. There's no end to this.
Erica Hernandez, KSAT 12 News.
Yeah, important work going on there. And I know earlier this week we had some rain. I know that's been an issue for rescuers and, people out there doing some of the important work. Adam, what are things looking like for this weekend?
Well, right now and into tomorrow morning, we'll have a few isolated showers. And right now it's probably going to be the heaviest of them because we have the peak daytime heating and energy from the sun. Currently, it's all just outside of Hallettsville in this part of Lavaca County. Likely to see a little over an inch of rainfall. But you see, as the outflow boundary goes westward, we're getting new development just north of Shiner and also near Gonzales. Now, this green line, that's the outflow boundary, and that's going to continue to push westward. And next up would be Gonzales, Luling, Seguin. This in and of itself could develop some new showers. So it's a bit of a wild card that we have out there this evening. But the heavy activities out there, and it'll slowly come to an end in the Hallettsville area and Lavaca County. And come tomorrow morning and even tonight, along and north of Highway 90, even in the hill country, we could have a few showers, but probably nothing as heavy as what you see out there off to the east at the moment. It would be lighter in nature in the hill country and just through tomorrow morning. We'll talk about the rest of the weekend and our next chance of rain on the way in just a bit.
Okay, so we got to talk about water levels. The water levels at Canyon Lake were at its lowest in 60 years in April because of the drought.
Yeah, and since the recent flooding, it's up over a dozen feet. So now closed boat ramps, they can finally reopen.
Good for businesses. Sarah Costa spoke with local businesses and locals as boaters lined up to take advantage of those reopened ramps.
This is drone video we got of Boat Ramp 18 in Canyon Lake in April. It's been closed for over a year. Take a look at it now. It reopened last Saturday. The water has risen and boaters are lining up.
Lake's been very low. Until it flooded here, we haven't been able to get on it for several years.
Dean Smith lives in Comal County. He says even though he got to enjoy fishing on his boat at his local lake instead of driving to LBJ in Austin, it's bittersweet.
And I'm glad to see the lake come up. The tragedy that took to get it here is, still there. You see a lot of the debris still in parts of the lake, and it's just another reminder of what happened.
3 months ago, Canyon Lake was only 46% full. Today, it's 67% full, rising nearly 14 feet.
Boat ramps 1, 14, 18, and 19 are all open. And the owner of Jaded Boats, which rents boats, says things are starting to look up.
Canyon Lake drying up, but now with all this, this is immaculate. This is incredible.
Right here looks pretty good.
Luke Wilburn says the rising lake levels is great for the Canyon Lake community.
Oh, I'm sure it's good. Yeah, I'm sure you guys have been struggling, so hopefully we're back on.
And Kyle Zera says his boat rental company has finally picked up this week.
A lot of the calls have been like, is the lake open? Are the boat ramps open? So with the recent water activity, we can actually start sending things out, feel comfortable sending people out. The water is still kind of like murky from all of the flood debris and all that, closer towards the water inlet. But over here in this cove, the water is pretty crystal clear over here, which is good for us.
Sarah Costa, KSAT 12 News.
All right, so now let's give you a live look at our roads right there. U.S. Highway 90 at Nogalitos, where traffic is heavy right now, but not too bad. It is still moving nonetheless. I checked, there are no accidents right now in that area, so that's good news.
Yeah, good news. We'll still head on the news at 6. We know so many people suffered such great loss at the hands of Mother Nature, and so many people stepped up to help those who needed it the most. Coming up a little later, we're going to hear from some of those helpers.
Also, it has been a local favorite for nearly 2 decades, but now the owners of a popular area amusement park are calling it quits. After the break, we're going to show you just how we got here.
This place is a part of so many family memories, but soon it'll be history. The owners of ZDT's amusement park in Seguin say next month they're closing for good.
Yeah, Katrina Weber shows us why this ride is coming to an end and also how customers are taking the news.
Originally, this was a parking lot here. We fenced this area.
Change has been in the plans since Sarah Donhauser and her husband Danny began focusing on family fun, turning an old grain mill into a golden opportunity for their city.
Seguin needed something for families to do, and so we were filling a void, essentially.
They opened ZDT's amusement park in 2007, first with games and go-karts. Then outdoor thrills that splash. Daddy, we're going! And make you scream.
It's really fun. I love the roller coaster. Like, it's pretty fast.
My favorite part is probably the go-karts and the roller coaster.
Families have made lifelong memories here.
We've had so much fun on the water slides. There's never any crowds.
I feel like it's safe. The kids can just go here and you can see them.
What are you going to do next?
That one. Okay, it's almost our turn.
Now, though, change is in the air again. After a lot of thought, the owners of ZDT's will say BYE on August 17th.
You know, attendance has been dwindling in recent years. The time has come.
Just like with this parachute drop, there have been a lot of ups and downs for Donhauser and her family. She says that's part of the reason this ride is now coming to an end.
At this particular moment, I'm happy. But I'm sure that that's gonna, change again.
I'm sad. I'm sad. I don't want it to close.
What are you gonna do now?
I don't know. Hope that somebody buys this or something.
So far, Donhauser says there are no takers. They'll likely sell some of the parts. But what's priceless for others is the joy it brought them. Katrina Weber, KSAT 12 News.
That was rough.
Okay, nobody
Katrina
had more fun than her.
The time of her life covering that story. All right.
Azian did too. I know he was behind that little girl who went down the slide. I know. Tough day for them, right?
Yeah, exactly. All right, 95 degrees out there right now. You're seeing the skies are nice and blue, some clouds out there. But people are getting ready for the weekend, Adam.
Yeah, and one thing I like you see in that shot is the layered clouds that we have, the nice layers of clouds at different altitudes. By the way, clouds are classified by altitude. Anyway, and I love having that because then it can often set the stage for beautiful sunrises and sunsets. So it should be a pretty good sunset for parts of South Central Texas. 20% chance of a shower now all the way through tomorrow morning, then sunny and dry until about this time next week. We have another opportunity for a little bit of rain. So here's the rain that we've been looking at and watching. This shower slowly weakening. That's just north of Hallettsville. Moulton, between Moulton and Shiner, one other downpour, and then one just popped up near Gonzales, and that's having a hard time really sustaining itself. But I think most of the actual heavy rain that we have will be this evening, and then just sporadic lighter rain tonight and through the first part of tomorrow. But most of us not actually getting the shower activity. Here's our future cast. It's not perfect, but it has a good, I think it has a good representation of what we can expect. Now, most of the energy is going to be north of San Antonio. So tonight and especially first thing tomorrow morning, even before sunrise, a few little hit or miss showers in the hill country should not pose any threat for flooding. Just a few quick splash and dash showers. And that's about it for until about 9-10 a.m. And then we'll start to clear out and dry out for several days. So here's the setup and the whole situation. Weak upper disturbance here. Not much to it, but enough to create the showers from Louisiana to Texas yesterday and today, and now just a few creeping into the KSAT 12 viewing area. It's going to linger around into parts of tomorrow, but then the big blue H, upper level high, the dry high takes over for Sunday on into the middle part of next week, and then it shifts north, and with the steering flow around it, that clockwise flow, it opens the door for this disturbance to move in off the Gulf. An upper level system is the way it's looking right now, similar to what we have currently, just another one of these upper bursts of energy and basically puffs of moisture that could give us a few showers. 20% chance through the morning, 30% chance by this time next week, and even on into the following Saturday. By the way, the dust, it's going to be back a little bit by Sunday. Nothing significant, but a little extra haze in the sky as we get into Sunday. You see some light amounts of that dust suspended up above us, but again, it's not going to have any impact other than a little bit of haze. Tomorrow in Boerne, or I should say right now we're at 90 degrees, 95 at the airport. Tomorrow is going to be very similar. 88 at 8 o'clock, by 10 o'clock, 83 degrees. And then tomorrow, look at that, back up to 96 for the high temperature after a morning low of 76 and a southeasterly wind at 10 to 15. The typically warmer spots, Carrizo Springs, Crystal City, Cotulla, back to triple digits, but the rest of us in the 90s, but getting close to triple digits next week. 99. Wouldn't surprise me if we hit it, though.
All right, Adam, thank you.
All right, so I've always wondered, many of us fantasize about winning the lotto, but I'd have to think if you're an athlete and you get picked to be in the major leagues, it's got to be something similar. And now we have our answer.
Yeah, and being a top 20 pick in the MLB draft means millions and millions of dollars. Pretty cool. And it's been 6 days since KSAT Cunningham was drafted 18th overall. We'll hear what's next and how he's feeling about it coming up. And it's a big weekend for some of San Antonio's top boxers, and Gabriela Tellez is grateful to be a part of it after the break. KSAT Cunningham's name was called at number 18 in the 2025 MLB draft on Sunday by the Arizona Diamondbacks. Arizona couldn't resist the ceiling that the shortstop and left-handed hitter has out of Johnson High School. Sports director Larry Ramirez spent time with the 19-year-old yesterday, hearing Cunningham's emotions after a dream week.
Yeah, we're flying out tomorrow, going through my medical stuff, and then I start draft camp on Monday. So, First job.
Nice, man.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yes,
Hey,
sir.
welcome to adulting.
I know, it's crazy.
Did the Diamondbacks tell you at all why they drafted you, like what it is about you as a person or a ball player?
Yeah, no, I think just my skill set. My senior year, I had a great senior year. I really impressed them in my workout. It just felt like a really good fit.
And when you got drafted, what did that mean for you and your dad?
Oh, it meant everything. You know, all the work we put in from a young age, all the blood, sweat, and tears in the cage, on this field, even before I could remember picking up a baseball.
And how about for you and your mother?
Oh, it was awesome. You know, she's been crying these past couple of days. She's kind of sad for me to leave, but
yeah,
she's super excited for this next journey of mine.
How many text messages and phone calls did you get? Have you been able to respond to
I'm
everybody?
still trying to respond to them. You know, I've been a little backed up. I got like 600 messages right now. That's crazy. Yeah.
600?
600.
What is your message to Arizona Diamondback fans?
D-backs fans, I feel like y'all are getting one of the best players in the draft. It's going to be exciting. Just can't wait to get to work.
Well, it's a monumental week for San Antonio's world champion boxers. The legend Manny Pacquiao is set to make his return to the ring following a 4-year hiatus for Mario Barrios' WBC welterweight title. Jesse Bam Rodriguez faces Pumelela Cafu at the Star in Frisco in a WBC and WBO title unification. Both of those fights are Saturday night. And getting us started tonight is 18-year-old Gabriela Tellez looking to extend her 5-0 win streak tonight in Florida.
I just feel like knowing that I'm one of those ones that are being recognized to be up there with the best that are fighting right now. And just knowing who they fighting, like Barrios is fighting Pacquiao, you know, Bam's fighting the top guy. Like, I just feel like everybody, all San Antonio is doing what they got to do. Like, they're all putting the best on. They all going to get love this weekend. I feel like it's just, and then it also motivates me even more just to be like, I'm fighting when the best of the best are fighting. You know what I mean? Like, these cards are fire. The people's fire. Like, everything just goes into play.
Oh, can't wait for this weekend. Tellez's fight is featured on DAZN. The event starts at 7 o'clock tonight. Tomorrow night, 2:10 Bam's fight is also on DAZN. For the DAZN fights, you need a subscription to watch. And Barrios' fight is pay-per-view on Amazon Prime. And here's a quick side-by-side comparison of Barrios and Pacquiao. Pac-Man, his resume, overwhelming. He's a legend, but Barrios has the advantage in his age and the size advantage, standing at 6 feet tall with a 71-inch reach. So can't wait for that. And coming up at 7 o'clock tonight, KSAT Sports Now, we're talking Spurs, Cowboys, much more, all starting at 7 o'clock on our streaming platforms.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, still ahead, dozens of the people we lost in the Hill Country floods were children. Still ahead on the news at 6, we're talking about some of those resources available for kids who might be dealing with grief.
Welcome back, my friends. So now we want to focus on helping children cope with the devastating floods that we've been talking about for 2 weeks.
Yeah, the images are so hard to watch. So how do you explain them to children, especially those who were affected by what happened or lost their friends in that tragedy?
Yeah, so for that, we're going to go to a KSAT alum, Lee Waldman, our good friend. She's in New York following the story. So Lee, first of all, welcome. We know that you've been looking into the resources to help that the community needs in order to help them deal with this tragedy. Where can people go?
Stephanie and Daniela, good to be back with you both. So we know that there's been an influx of these volunteers and donations into the Hill Country, but we also know that counselors are on hand to help out for the youngest members of the community, those children. It'll take them some time to move through the grief and the trauma that they're experiencing in light of the tragedy that happened. In Kerrville, Texas, a fence is lined with the faces of those stolen by floodwaters on the 4th of July. The community has come together to grieve, to mourn, to pray.
They're not numbers. You know, they're little girls and men and mothers and fathers.
The Children's Bereavement Center of South Texas is in Kirk County helping families begin conversations with their children about loss.
The bulk of our phone calls are caregivers who are just really concerned about how to support their children through all of this tragedy.
Bereavement Center CEO Christina Hernandez says parents and caregivers should keep a close eye on their kids to look for manifestations of their grief.
Kids might have stomach aches, they might have headaches, they might have a decrease in appetite or maybe some trouble sleeping. All of that is totally normal. I think it's helpful to not allow kids to isolate.
Even if someone doesn't know anyone who is lost directly, these natural disasters can cause a rippling impact.
It destabilizes their sense of security and safety.
Hernandez wants families to know that grief can reappear as more time passes.
Knowing that it's okay to seek help, even if it's years down the road, because grief will come back. We know that.
Now, every Monday at their San Antonio location, the Bereavement Center is going to be hosting what's called a healing circle. It's from 6 to 8. So if you're in the area and you need some assistance, if you need some help, if you just want to spread some love, that's something to put on your calendar every week. And next week, Hernandez says in Kerrville, they're going to be hosting a group counseling session there. So that's something to also put on your calendar.
Awesome. Obviously, this community needs a lot of resources to deal with this tragedy. And Lee, I want to go back to the Children's Bereavement Center, a place that we've heard of a lot. I know you did a lot of work with them in Uvalde, but this is obviously a different thing from the shooting that you covered while you were working here at KSAT. Did they talk about that at all when you spoke with the Children's Bereavement Center?
Yeah, Stephanie, that's something is so personal to them. They want to continue helping the South Texas community. And we asked them, what does the extended commitment look like? And they said for Uvalde, for Sutherland Springs, they're going to continue to be in those communities to try and help the communities move forward, the families of victims and survivors move forward in their grief and in their recovery journey. And they're also making that same kind of commitment to Kerrville and to the Hill Country. They're going to be there. They're going to maintain that promise to them so that they can help where help is needed, as long as it might take, because we know that healing from a tragedy like we saw on the 4th of July is not a linear journey. It's going to have ups and downs, forward and backward steps. So they're going to continue to be there as long as they are needed.
Yeah, and that can be a years-long process. So let's talk about parents and caregivers who, are living with these children every day. What are some things that they can do to help kids cope with something like this, like a natural disaster?
Yeah, Daniela, so parents need to be monitoring what their kids are taking in. So if they're on social media and they're only looking at content about the tragedy itself, or if they're really only looking on the internet or consuming media that has to do with the tragedy that happened, parents should limit that. They shouldn't let them overconsume. They should also answer any questions that their kids have with factual information, but also being protective about the details that they are sharing. But most importantly, for all the parents who are watching this and all the caregivers who are watching this, kids will monitor and mirror what we're doing. So if they see you exhibiting those healthy coping mechanisms, they'll do the same. You can show them it's okay to cry and it's okay to have days where you're just not okay.
Lee, perfect advice. Thank you so much for that, my friend. So happy to see you. We hope to see you again soon. Thank you. We'll be right back.
Definitely good to be with y'all.
So still ahead on the news at 6, Voices from the Flood. We're going to share the stories from some of the heroes who helped those who needed it most in the Hill Country.
Do you have a favorite restaurant or a favorite hairstylist? SA Picks is back, and we want to know who you think are the top businesses in the city. There are more than 90 categories to vote on. Just scan the QR code on your screen. You can vote for each category once a day, and you have until August 1st to vote. The finalists will be announced on August 19th, and then there'll be another round of voting from August 20th through September 12th to determine the big winners. We'll announce the winners in late September, so cast your vote now for your favorite business to be recognized as the best in San Antonio.
So high school students, church groups, food bank volunteers, and so many others have been traveling to the Texas Hill Country to lend a helping hand as that community continues to process this tragedy. You know, KSAT crews, we've been on the ground gathering their stories since the very beginning.
Yeah, and we're committed to covering the flooding and the aftermath. We also want to recognize those who have spent the last 2 weeks helping rebuild.
My heart breaks for the families.
Friday morning, I turned the TV on and I have kept my eyes off of it. It's the most devastating thing that happened.
Volunteers from around the state lined up to give a helping hand.
What are you taking with you when you're headed out to some of these sites?
Lots of meals, socks. So I know that they were needing socks down in the main disaster area, ground zero, you know, and it stretches for miles. Like 3 persons coming together.
I just started making it, and we started running them to the fire departments.
Tennessee, Alabama, other places across the country, and all over Texas, first responders are coming here into Sisterdale.
We needed work gloves, and within hours we had mountains of work gloves.
We got them fresh socks, we got them hydrocortisone, we got them antibiotic cream.
The San Antonio Food Bank's going to come with their distribution truck, park in the parking lot for everybody to come and get food, and they'll be getting a box like this full of food. Anyone who has been impacted by the floods can come and get that.
This is something we do not see in Mexico. I had mentioned it earlier. This structure that is being provided by all the people from this area that are helping and assisting, all the fire departments that are responding, the state of Texas doing all the help and its thing and its coordination. It's something we don't see.
And we're making sure that we have counseling and support avenues for people to be able to, if it's 3 in the morning and it's bothering you, here's some people you can call.
And this community help is happening across the city.
A group of Ingram coaches have reported for duty every day since July 4th.
We've had kids clearing properties. We've had kids clearing bridges so people can get through.
I want to help my people out, and my people are fellow Texans.
We're fixing the things we can and, mourning the things we can't.
We got Comfort, we got Centerpoint, we got Kerrville, we got Hunt, we got Ingram, we got Harper. We're all family here.
But even with the help, the work is far from over.
The department members here, they lost loved ones in this tragic situation. We want to try to make sure that when we leave here, that they're taken care of.
We're going to keep going until it's actually done.
We're very grateful from all of the community. They have all come together. We've gotten all those donations, a lot of out-of-town donations, a lot of out-of-state donations.
This is being shifted as we can to the first responders and the people that are out in the field.
A lot of people say this is an act of God, but the act of God is people helping people.
Stephanie, I was out there just hours after the flooding started that day, and one of the things that was beautiful is to see how quickly people wanted to help.
Yes.
I remember going to Ingram, the volunteer fire department there. There was a woman who had been rescued, and they didn't hesitate. They were like, what do you need? Blanket, dog food, like whatever you need, we'll help you.
Yeah, and people and here's the thing, you have so many organizations going up there, but you also have individuals, families.
Yeah.
I know that since I've been there, some people have just been like, no, my family and I just decided to come up. And I think that that's what's getting the people there, the victims, through all this, knowing that they have all of that support. Love that. All right, we want you to stay where you are. We're going to give you a look at your live cam. 95 degrees out there. We know that more people are going to be in the hill country just to help all of the people who have been affected this weekend from 2 weeks ago, Adam. So tell us, what's it going to be like for them?
Well, we have the layered clouds out there right now. A few showers possible as we get on into tonight and first thing tomorrow. We'll talk more about all that in just a bit.
You know, you may look outside right now and see nice, beautiful, clear skies, but you know, we did have rain in our region just east of us earlier today. Adam, how's that looking right now?
Yeah, it snuck into Hallettsville area, Lavaca County, and up toward LaGrange, Schulenburg as well. But most of it has really fizzled out. These have really rained themselves out. Look at this. Just over the past hour, some lightning and thunder, and then really quickly here, poof, they're done. Now let's take a look at how much rain actually fell within these thunderstorms here. And we'll look at the 12-hour rainfall totals. And just north of Hallettsville, that was really our bullseye, at least for the KSAT 12 viewing area. Closer to Houston, they obviously had some rain as well. But just north of Hallettsville by not very far, just a mile or two, we had, look at this, about 1.8 inches. So very impressive downpour there. And that was an isolated area, but still, it goes to show what some of those downpours can do. It's kind of shaped like a lobster. Look at that. You see that? Right?
Yes, I dig. Yeah?
Yeah, it kind of looks like a lobster. Here, let me outline it for you. There we go. The green area. Huh.
Yeah.
Oh, and there its claws. Its pinchers.
Yep, incredible.
You never know what you're going to find on the radar screen, right? Now, going forward, just very slight chances of rain, and they're probably not going to be nearly as heavy either. Let's look at the futurecast. And I think this does a good job of illustrating what we can expect. And the rest of this evening, 1 or 2 pop-up showers, but after sunset, we don't expect them to be heavy as what we saw out in Hallettsville and Lavaca County. But into the night and early tomorrow morning, notice some light shower activity in the hill country. That's because most of the upper energy is going to be north of San Antonio, north of Highway 90. And we're talking just a few areas of light to moderate rain with the opportunity up through about 10, 11 a.m. tomorrow morning. It should not be problematic and nothing to cause any further flooding. Now, I want to talk about what's going to happen in the days ahead. And the big blue H, it's going to come overhead. It's going to park itself here, and we'll be dry tomorrow afternoon all the way through Thursday with the upper high in place. But this then shifts northward by this time next week. That opens the door for a disturbance to come in from the east, and it looks like we will have some type of upper level energy with Gulf moisture moving from Florida across the Gulf here into Texas. And that could be enough to kickstart some shower activity. It's still very far away, and right now it doesn't look like it would be problematic rain, just another little ripple in the upper level flow that we can anticipate. Also, really quickly, little bit of dust on the way by Sunday afternoon and evening. It's suspended in the sky. It's not going to cause any problems. Just a little bit of an extra haze as we get into Sunday and Monday. But again, nothing significant. All right, temperature-wise, more of the same as we go through the weekend. Mid to upper 90s for high temperatures. Then next week, a lot of sunshine, at least through Wednesday and into Thursday. Upper 90s near 100. And then that 30% chance with that next little ripple in the flow, that disturbance by Friday and Saturday.
All right. Thank you, Adam.
And we'll be right back after this.
Welcome back. At 7 o'clock, KSAT Sports Now gets underway on our streaming platforms, KSAT Plus and KSAT.com. All right, Mary, what do you have coming up tonight?
Well, we have a lot of good stuff. Nick Mantis is in for Daniel Villanueva, producing a great show. Right now, conference media days are going on, and we get you ready for the UTSA football team, who has their media day coming up, and UTSA athletics as a whole. And specifically, Jeff Traylor before that has a big day coming up. He's being inducted into the Texas High School Coaches Association Hall of Honor. We were also talking about Texas Media Days, the SEC Media Days, and we have big game coverage talk. Nick Mantis has a story with one local beach volleyball player who committed to Texas as a sophomore.
Very cool.
So you have to hear that story. And most importantly, what I'm most excited about, this might be the Nick show, but he's sharing exclusive video with us from his bachelor party.
Oh,
yeah.
I bet Nick's looking forward to that. I see him over there in the corner smiling. So I know a lot of people, I mean, this is going to be the start of a busy season for you, especially because I know you're getting ready to head out to California.
Cowboys camp next week. We'll be there all week, so we'll have coverage on all of our shows and KSAT Sports Now. Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Mary.
Yes, thank you.
We'll see you right after the break.
We'd like our viewers, we want to see more of them. If you want to stay up to date with all of our coverage, but you're not exactly sure how, well, we want to hear from you. KSAT 12 is hosting a town hall later this month at Santico's Casablanca. We're going to be discussing how to receive all of our KSAT content, because there's a lot of it, signal issues, and also taking questions from the community.
Yeah, so if you want to be there with us, just scan that QR code on your screen. That way you can sign up for a seat. Now, this is a free event happening next Wednesday, July 23rd from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. And you can find more information on our website, ksat.com.
And now we want to let you know about some traffic. So that's 410 at Babcock that we're about to show you. Very, very slow going. I looked on TxDOT's website, and it doesn't look like there's been any accident in the area. So we don't exactly know what's causing that. But believe me, I looked at this 10 minutes ago, and there was a car that was stalled out and no cars were moving. So it looks like it's a lot better. Nonetheless, if somebody that you know heads in that direction, it'll be a while before they get home. See you.